Hello, welcome to Northampton Economics Tutor website. Today we will be looking at Unit 2, the National Economy. The past paper is from May 2011. In question number 1, which one of the following would be classified as a fiscal policy? A UK government decision to. Its answer A, increase the budget deficit. We know budget deficit means when the government is spending more than what it is receiving in tax revenues. So you need to now figure out what a budget surplus is. In question number 2, all other things being equal, a substantial cut in the rate of income tax in the short run is most likely to reduce unemployment because people will have more disposable income, so consumption will increase. AD will increase and decrease unemployment. As you can see, AD includes consumption plus government spending plus investment plus X minus M or net exports. So if consumption is going up, then the AD should go up and the firms will employ more people. In question number 3, according to the UK government's definition, the economy is said to be in recession when the answer is D, real national output falls for 2 successive quarters or more by definition. In question number 4, the diagram below shows the aggregate demand curve and 2 short-run aggregate supply curves for an economy. And we can see that as the SRAS has moved outwards, therefore the price has fallen down. And this could be the world price of oil, which is from the supply side, has fallen down, therefore it brings down the price level. In question number 5, in an economy with a positive output gap, we know demand pull inflationary pressure exists. Why? Because economy is overheating as people have jobs and money to spend. Therefore, too much money chasing too few goods. There is no spare capacity because we are operating beyond the long-term average trend. So we are probably overusing our resources, and that's why there is very low levels of unemployment, or probably people are overworking. The actual output is actually more than the potential output, and there is no cyclical unemployment. In question number 6, according to the accelerator theory, investment is more likely to increase when the rate of growth of national income is increasing. Theory says a demand for consumption will increase demand for capital goods, which should push the AD right. Which one of the following is most likely to be an example of a supply side improvement in the economy? In question number 7. An increase in business innovation, as I have demonstrated with a diagram, that the business innovation will move the LRAS to the right, which is supply side. Consumer expenditure is demand side, so is exports, as we know, X minus M, and factor immobility. The factor immobility will not mean that it is an improvement in the economy and exports a large proportion of its finished goods. The diagram below shows the initial aggregate demand and short-run aggregate supply curve, together with possible shifts of these curves. So the answer is C, because the SRAS is moving outwards, more imports of raw materials, and the AD moves inwards as it is less exports. So we know the AD moves left because of less exports, or X minus M. The diagram below shows a shift of aggregate demand curve for an economy. We can see the AD is moving outwards, an increase in AD. So which one of the following combinations, A, B, C, or D, would be most likely to cause the shift from AD1 to AD2? We know by formula AD equals C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So any of these factors should be increasing. The answer is D, because if household savings decrease, consumption will increase. If business investments are increasing, there is more demand for capital goods. Therefore, it will move the AD right. In question number 10, all other things being equal, a fall in the exchange rate will stimulate aggregate demand through a fall in the foreign currency price of British goods, because British goods will become more competitive. In question number 11, as you can see, I have used the process of elimination. So the question is, which one of the following statements about the UK financial system is true? It says the Bank of England implements fiscal policy. No, that's wrong, because it implements monetary policy. Banks lend money to people when most in needs. No, banks lend money to both firms and businesses. D is not the right answer, because the Bank of England sets the inflation target that the banking system has to meet. No, the government sets the inflation target at 2%, and the Bank of England has to use its monetary policy to achieve that target of 2% with a leverage of 1% on either side, plus minus. Hence, C is the answer, that is, bank provides the links. B is not the answer, because banks lend money to both firms and businesses. D is not the answer, because the inflation target of 2% is set by the government. Hence, C is the answer, because people save with banks and then banks provide money to the firms for investments. In question number 12, all other things being equal, which one of the following situation is most likely to lead to a deterioration in the UK's balance of payments on current account. B is the answer, that UK labour productivity relative to the rest of the world, British goods will become expensive and uncompetitive, because if the labor productivity is less, then we are producing our goods at a higher wage and hence at a higher cost. Question number 13. The effects on the economy of increased investment expenditures by firm are illustrated by a movement from X to Y. Which one of the following diagrams, A, B, C or D, best illustrates this movement? And I have said the answer is A, because we can see the LRAS is moving outwards from point X to Y, and AD is also increasing because the investment has increased, and it will also make a shift in the supply side. So economy output has increased, we can see over here, and very small rise in the price level from X to Y. In question number 14, which one of the following statements relate to the using of fiscal policy is correct? I have put on C. Fiscal policy can be used to influence both the total output in the economy and the distribution of output between particular industries. Why? Because government can encourage an industry by providing it a subsidy, or discourage an industry like hitting it with VAT. Cigarettes is a good example, or alcohol, as we've heard about minimum pricing, and taxes and subsidies are part of the government fiscal policy. I've also put down answers for A, B and D, why they're not there, giving them providing you with answers over there. Question number 15. An economy had nominal GDP growth of 8% last year, inflation of 5.5% and population growth of 2.5%. The approximate percentage change in real GDP per capita. To calculate real GDP, we put down real GDP, to calculate GDP per capita, we put down real GDP over population. To find that out, we put down 8.8% is the increase in nominal GDP, the nominal inflation rate being 5.5%. So if you take that away, then the GDP is 2.5 divided by 2.5, which is the population, comes out to no change. So 0 is the answer. I have provided you with the formulas to help you over here. Question number 16. Question is, since the 1970s, many of the UK's primary and secondary sector firms have closed or shrunk in size. The real value of manufacturing output today is little different from 40 years ago. The result has been enormous job losses in these sectors. Some regions badly affected by closures still have above national average unemployment rates despite large injections of taxpayers' money. In contrast, the service sector has seen very fast growth over this period. Which one of the following can be inferred from the data over the past 40 years? The pattern of economic activity in the UK has changed. We can say the manufacturing sector has declined and tertiary sector jobs have increased. In question number 17, which one of the following will be most effective in reducing inflation in the short run when the economy is operating at full employment, which means there is no spare capacity? So one way could be increasing savings. Why? Because people will have less disposable income for less demand, and also savings is a leakage in the national income. In question number 18, table below contains data of the component of aggregate demand in an economy in 2009. Which one of the following is supported by data? What I have done is I've done mathematical calculations. So we know household consumption, which is your C plus G plus I plus exports minus imports. And if you look over here, what I've done is I've added them all up together, come out 786. To calculate the percentage, 524 divided by 786 times 100 will give you 66.67%. Same way I have calculated for G, same way for I, and then we know exports minus imports is negative. So looking at these statements, statement D was the most accurate, which is household consumption amounted to approximately 2/3 of aggregate demand in 2009. 2/3 is 66.67%. Therefore, this is the right answer. Number 19 is a mathematical question. The table below contains selected indicators for an economy experiencing inflation. We've got taxation percentage of GDP, which is 35.25, 36.50, 37.575. We can see the trend is that the taxation percentage of GDP is increasing. Public spending percentage of GDP, which is 41.25, 9.50 and 39. And if you look at the GDP, real GDP over here, you can say public spending, if you calculate the percentage, is actually increasing. So the information above shows that between 2000 and 2010 there was a fall in public sector spending in £1 million. So if you look at public spending, when I've calculated over there, on all the 3 years it has increased, so the A is not the answer. A rise in total tax revenue. So if you look over here, yes, the rise in total tax revenue has been increasing, all three. Then it says 150% increase in real GDP. If you look over there, the increase from 100 to 130 is 30%. From 130 to 150 would be like, let's say 20 over 120, roughly about 20%. That's not right. Rise in public sector borrowing is not given in this question, so D is not the answer. Question number 20. It's a straightforward question. A type of unemployment caused by insufficient aggregate demand is cyclical. We have negative output and debt, and there is no demand in the economy, so firms are reducing the number of people and trying to finish off the inventory they have. Question number 21. All other things being equal, which one of the following is the most likely effect the UK economy of a change the exchange rate from $1 to 60p, $1 80p? We can see over here the dollar has strengthened, the pound has weakened, because now dollar can buy more pounds. That's why dollar has appreciated, which means the people living in US will find the British goods cheap. They have to pay less dollars, so they will probably import more, which means for the British firms they will be exporting more goods. C is the answer. A rise in aggregate demand and a rise in inflationary pressure. Why? Because ET equals C plus G plus I plus net exports. Since the exports are going up, that means people have more money. They will demand more for goods. Exports, in a way, is also reducing the amount of goods available in the British economy. Therefore, the prices of those goods. Number 22. Which one of the following is a monetary policy measure that may be used to reduce inflation? I've used the process of elimination. Question A is not the answer, as that's a government policy. Question B is not the answer, as that is a government policy. Depreciation of the exchange rate, which could be because the interest rates have gone up, or the quantity of money in the economy has gone down. The appreciation means strong pound. Imports, prices drops, so Bank of England buys pounds from the markets, so that is more a monetary policy. It has to do with Bank of England. Depreciation of the exchange rate, again, cannot be the answer, because if the exchange rate goes down, then we'll have to give out more money to buy imports. It will result in prices going up, inflation going up, not reducing it. Number 23. An economy has introduced a series of successful supply side policies. All other things being equal, which combination of macroeconomic indicators A, B, C or D is most likely outcome? I have said A. Employment will be increasing, inflation decreasing, deficit on the current account decreasing. Now I have said over here, price will fall down, AD, as the aggregate supply has moved right or outwards. Question number 24. The consequence of increasing the interest rate when the exchange rate is rising is likely to be an increase in the level of employment. Why? Because less investment, people or firms will buy it expensive to borrow or to consume, therefore AD will fall. Exports, hence businesses less demand, make employees redundant. Question number 25. In which one of the following statements concerning UK investment is correct? The answer is D, because investment can increase the capital stock of the economy, yes, to replace depreciation and also to meet increased demand, out of the accelerator theory as well. So good luck with your exams. Thank you.